Stand before a mirror, your reflection staring back unyielding and raw. What do you see? Not just a face, but the essence of who you are. Every scar, every doubt, every unspoken fear etched into the glass. You've spent years chasing desires, wealth, love, recognition, believing they would fill the hollow spaces within. But the mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the truth. You attract what you are, not what you want. And if emptiness lingers in your soul, no treasure or affection will ever be enough. Welcome to the journey of the illusion of wanting. Here we confront a piercing reality. The endless pursuit of external prizes without inner transformation is a path to nowhere. You can climb the highest peaks of success or gather endless admirers, but if your spirit remains fractured, those victories will crumble like sand in your hands. This section is your wake-up call. It's time to stop chasing shadows and start forging the person you were meant to become. Feel the weight of this moment. Let it stir something deep within you. Are you ready to look into that mirror and see beyond the surface? Picture yourself as a driven soul named Marcus. You've spent a decade climbing the corporate ladder, your eyes fixed on the shimmering prize of wealth. Late nights, skipped meals, and sacrificed friendships, all for the corner office, the six-figure salary, the sleek car that turns heads. And you get it. One day you stand in your penthouse gazing over the city skyline, a king surveying his empire. But as the champagne sits untouched on the counter, a cold realization creeps in. You're alone. The thrill of the wind fades faster than the sunset. Inside, you feel the same gnawing discontent that haunted you as a broke 20-something. Why? Because the mirror of your soul reflects unrest, not riches. You chased a number in your bank account, but never confronted the void in your heart. Marcus's story is yours if you've ever believed that more would mean enough. You thought wealth would silence the inner critic, but it only amplified the whispers. The lesson burns bright external gains are mirages if your inner world remains barren. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow, rich riches, when they come in huge quantities, are seldom the result of only material things. They are the result of a state of mind. Marcus had the gold, but not the mindset. He attracted what he was unsettled, unrooted, and so even atop his mountain, he stood on shaky ground. The mirror showed him a man still searching, and until he reshapes his essence, no crown will ever fit. Now imagine yourself as Lila, a woman with a heart wide open, yearning for love. You've poured yourself into relationships, seeking someone to see you, to hold you, to make you whole. But each connection unravels. Partners come and go, drawn to your warmth, but repelled by the doubt that festers beneath it. You question your worth with every unanswered text, every cold shoulder. Am I enough echoes in your mind as you lie awake replaying every misstep. The relationships you attract mirror your turmoil, unstable, fleeting, and painful. You want love, but what you are is a storm of self-doubt, and so storms are what you draw near. Lila's struggle cuts deep because it's so human. Who hasn't ached for connection only to find rejection instead? The mirror of her essence reveals the truth: she cannot attract steadiness until she builds it within herself. You see, love isn't a gift someone hands you. It's a reflection of how you honor your own soul. As Wayne Dyer once said in Your Erroneous Zones, you cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. Lila's lesson is yours to claim. Until you stand firm in your own worth, the love you seek will slip through your fingers like water. Transform your inner reflection and watch the world shift around you. Step closer to that mirror. Look beyond the surface, beyond the tired eyes or forced smile. What do you truly see? The mirror of your essence doesn't care for the masks you wear or the stories you tell yourself. It reflects the raw, unfiltered core of who you are, your beliefs, your fears, your unresolved battles. And here's the unrelenting truth: the world doesn't give you what you crave. It gives you what you embody. Chase wealth without purpose, and you'll attract emptiness dressed in dollar signs. Seek love without self-acceptance, and you'll draw in chaos cloaked as passion. Why do you keep reaching for things outside yourself to fix what's within? How many times have you ignored the reflection, hoping the world would see a different you? Think of your life as a vast lake, its surface rippling with every thought and emotion. What you are, calm or turbulent, clear or murky determines what drifts toward your shores. You cannot command the tides to bring you treasures if your waters are poisoned with doubt or greed. The mirror shows you this change begins not with what you want, but with who you choose to be. Stop gazing outward for salvation. Turn inward. Face the reflection, no matter how jagged or flawed. Only then can you begin to sculpt a self that attracts the life you envision. Pause and consider the weight of your desires. You've run after countless goals, promotions, relationships, applause, believing each would be the key to fulfillment. But why does the finish line always move? Why does the joy of achievement dissolve so quickly into the hunger for more? The answer lies in the mirror. When you pursue external rewards without inner growth, you're like a builder constructing a castle on a foundation of sand. No matter how grand the towers, they'll collapse under the first storm. You attract what you are, not what you want. And if you are restless, unhealed, or misaligned, no prize will anchor you. Imagine your soul as a forge where the fires of experience shape your character. Every hardship, every longing, every misstep is a hammer strike meant to strengthen you. But if you dodge the heat chasing only the shiny end result, you remain raw and unformed. The mirror reflects this unfinished state, and the world responds in kind, sending you hollow victories or fleeting joys. What are you avoiding within yourself that keeps you tethered to emptiness? The path isn't to want more, but to become more grounded, more whole, more true. Only then will the forge's work be complete, and what you attract will match the strength you've built. When the ache of unfulfilled desires grips you, don't rush to chase the next shiny thing. Stop, breathe, face the mirror of your essence with courage. Take a moment each day, 5 minutes even, to sit in silence and ask yourself, what am I carrying that no amount of success or love can heal? Write down the first thought that surfaces, no matter how uncomfortable. Is it doubt, resentment? Fear of failure? Name it. Stare at it. This isn't about wallowing, it's about seeing. You can't transform what you refuse to acknowledge. Next, choose one small action to shift that inner state. If it's self-doubt, affirm one strength you possess, say it aloud, even if it feels forced. If it's bitterness, release one grudge by writing a letter you'll never send, then burn it. These acts are not magic. They're mirrors of intent showing your soul you're ready to change. Track this daily for a week. Notice how your energy shifts. The world watches. When you begin to reshape your reflection, what you attract will follow. You're not just wanting now, you're becoming. Before you set your sights on the next big goal, pause and redefine what you're truly after. Want wealth. Ask, am I seeking security or status? Want love. Ask, do I crave connection or validation? Write these answers down. Be brutally honest. Then shift the focus inward. What must I cultivate in myself to embody what I seek? If it's security, build discipline by saving a small amount weekly, no matter how small. If it's connection, practice vulnerability by sharing one true feeling with a trusted friend. This isn't about abandoning your desires. It's about aligning them with who you are becoming. Each step inward polishes the mirror of your essence, making it a clearer beacon for what you wish to draw near. As Tony Robbins reminds us in Awaken the Giant Within, it's not the events of our lives that shape us, but our beliefs as to what those events mean. Redefine your pursuit not as a race for more, but as a journey to be. Watch how the world begins to mirror your newfound clarity. Let's linger a moment longer on this truth: becoming is greater than wanting. Wanting is a fleeting spark, a wish cast into the wind, easily snuffed out by disappointment. Becoming is a slow-burning flame, fueled by every choice, every struggle, every quiet victory over your lesser self. The mirror of your essence captures this transformation. It shows not just who you are today, but who you are forging yourself to be tomorrow. In the world, it cannot help but respond. You attract what you are, not what you want, because the universe reads your energy, not your wish list. Think of yourself as a river carving through stone. The river doesn't wish for a path. It creates one through relentless flow, shaping the earth as it shapes itself. So too must you flow with purpose, cutting through doubts and distractions to define your course. What legacy are you carving with your actions right now? Are you merely wanting, or are you becoming? The mirror waits for your answer, and with every step toward inner strength, it reflects a life aligned with your truest self. Embrace this power. Let it guide you beyond illusion to reality. As we close this exploration of the illusion of wanting, let the lesson sink deep into your bones. Chasing external desires without inner change is a hollow pursuit. You've seen it in Marcus, who built an empire but found no peace. You've felt it in Lila, who sought love but mirrored her own doubts. The mirror of your essence reveals the unvarnished truth. You attract what you are, not what you want. If discontent or uncertainty defines you, no amount of wealth or affection will rewrite that reflection. But here's the hope: you hold the power to transform. Face your inner world with unflinching honesty. Forge a self rooted in purpose, strength, and clarity. The world will shift to match what you become. This is just the beginning. As we move forward, we'll uncover how to sculpt that inner reflection into something unshakable, something magnetic. For now, stand tall before your mirror. See not just flaws, but potential. Commit to the work of becoming and watch what you attract grow into something extraordinary. Final mantra: polish your reflection. The world will mirror your light. What if the world you see is merely a reflection of the storm or serenity within you? Picture a magnet, unyielding and silent, pulling iron shavings toward it with invisible force. You are that magnet. Your inner state, your thoughts, your emotions, your very essence draws in experiences that mirror who you are, not what you wish to be. You don't attract what you want with fleeting desires. You attract what you are with the steady pulse of your being. Welcome to the heart of transformation. In this journey of understanding, we uncover a timeless truth. The energy you carry shapes the reality you live. You've felt it, haven't you? The days when bitterness festers and every interaction sours, or the moments when gratitude blooms and kindness seems to find you unbidden. This is no accident. Your inner world is a beacon calling forth what matches its signal. So stand tall. Let's dive into the magnet of your being and learn how to align your energy with the life you crave. The power is yours. Will you wield it? Picture yourself as Mark, a man with a fire in his chest that burns not for passion, but for rage. Every morning he wakes with a clenched jaw, replaying arguments in his mind, words unspoken, slights unavenged. At work, a colleague's harmless comment about a missed deadline ignites him. "Do you think I'm incompetent?" he snaps, voice sharp as a blade. The air thickens and the colleague retreats, but not before a cold glare is exchanged. Later on, the commute home, a driver cuts him off. Mark slams his horn, fury boiling over, shouting into the void of his car. Conflict shadows him like a loyal hound. At home, even his family treads lightly, sensing the storm brewing in his silence. Mark doesn't see it, but his anger is a magnet drawing in friction at every turn. Each harsh word, each bitter thought sends out a signal, and the world responds in kind. A tense meeting spirals into a shouting match. A small disagreement with a neighbor festers into weeks of icy avoidance. He wonders why peace eludes him, why every day feels like a battlefield. He wants respect, harmony, connection, but what he attracts is the echo of his own unrest. Then one night, exhausted by the weight of his own rage, Mark sits alone staring at the ceiling. A quiet voice within asks, "What if I'm the one building these walls?" For the first time, he pauses. He breathes. He decides to try something radical to release the grip of resentment for just one day. The next morning, when a coworker critiques his project, he nods, listens, and says, "I'll work on that." The tension dissolves. At home, he smiles at his daughter's messy art project instead of scolding her. A warmth creeps in. The magnet shifts, less iron of conflict, more slivers of understanding. The lesson dawns: you attract what you are. Mark's anger invited war, but his choice to soften, even for a moment, began to draw peace. The key is in his hands. To change his energy is to change his world. Now imagine yourself as Lila, a woman who once saw life through a lens of lack. Bills piled up, friendships faded, and every opportunity seemed just out of reach. But one day, after a particularly dark stretch, she stumbled upon a simple idea to notice the good, however small. She began a ritual. Each morning she wrote down 3 things she was thankful for: a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a stranger, the quiet of dawn. At first it felt forced, like planting seeds in barren soil. But she persisted. Slowly something shifted. Lila started to notice more. A co-worker offered to help with a daunting task unprompted. A neighbor dropped off a homemade pie just because. An old friend called out of the blue, rekindling a bond she thought was lost. Opportunities, too, began to appear, a job opening she hadn't noticed before, a chance to learn a skill she'd always admired. It wasn't that the world had changed overnight. It was that Lila's gaze had. Her gratitude became a magnet, pulling in kindness and possibility, where once she saw only struggle. Lila's story whispers a truth: when you cultivate a garden of appreciation within you, attract the blooms of abundance without. She didn't chase these gifts with desperate wanting. She became the kind of person who radiates warmth, and the world mirrored it back. Her lesson aligns with the magnet of your being. Tune your energy to gratitude, and watch how life aligns to meet it. The takeaway is clear: who you are shapes what comes to you. Let's step back and consider the unseen force at play. You are a magnet, your heart and mind pulsing with a current that draws experiences to you. Think of your emotions as the strength of that pull. Anger sharpens the edges, calling forth jagged encounters. Peace smooths the field, inviting calm. This isn't mere poetry, it's the architecture of your reality. What you carry inside isn't hidden, it ripples out, touching everything. Have you ever noticed how a single bitter thought can color your entire day, turning neutral moments into slights? Or how a spark of hope can transform a mundane errand into a chance for connection? The magnet of your being doesn't discriminate. It doesn't ask if you want conflict or joy. It simply responds to what you are. Like a river carving its path through stone, your inner state shapes the landscape of your life over time. You can't fake this pull. Superficial smiles won't summon true warmth if resentment festers beneath. So ask yourself, what energy am I sending out right now? What am I drawing in with every thought, every breath? The truth is, you're always attracting something. The question is whether it's what you truly desire or merely the reflection of a self you've yet to transform. Imagine standing before a vast mirror, one that stretches beyond sight. This mirror doesn't show your face. It reveals your life, every interaction, every outcome. What you see is no accident. It's the reflection of your inner world, polished or tarnished by the energy you hold. If you're gripped by fear, the mirror shows a world of threats. If you nurture trust, it reveals allies and openings. You attract what you are, not what you want, because the mirror doesn't lie. It can't. It only echoes. This is both a burden and a liberation. A burden because it demands you look within, unflinching, at the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. A liberation because it hands you the power to reshape the image. How many times have you blamed the world for your struggles, unaware that the storm started in your own chest? How often have you sought love while harboring doubt, only to find rejection staring back? The magnet of your being is relentless. It pulls in what matches your core. But here's the hope: you can refine that core. You can polish the rust of old grudges, strengthen the alloy of your resolve. The mirror waits. What will you reflect? As Wayne Dyer once said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Your energy is the lens. Shift it, and the world shifts with you. So how do you begin to align your inner magnet with the life you seek? It starts with awareness. Pause right now. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the current of your emotions. Are you simmering with frustration or grounded in calm? Whatever you find, don't judge it, just notice. This is your starting point. Each day, take 5 minutes to check in with yourself. Ask, what energy am I carrying? Is it drawing in what I want to experience? Next, choose one small shift. If negativity clouds you, counter it with intention. Write down one thing you're grateful for, even if it's as simple as the air in your lungs. Speak a kind word to someone, even if you don't feel it fully yet. These acts aren't just gestures, they're recalibrations. They adjust the pull of your magnet bit by bit. Consistency is key. Do this daily and watch how the slivers of your reality begin to shift. You're not chasing outcomes. You're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts them. Remember, small actions forge great change. Your inner state is precious, guarded like a flame in a storm. External chaos will always swirl around you, a harsh word, a setback, a day that unravels. But you decide what takes root within. When negativity threatens to seep in, stand firm. Breathe deeply 3 times and ground yourself. Ask, does this deserve my energy? More often than not, the answer is no. Let it pass through you like wind through branches felt but not held. Surround yourself with influences that match the energy you wish to embody. Listen to voices that uplift, read words that inspire, seek company that mirrors your highest self. As Jim Rohn famously noted, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Your environment shapes your magnet as much as your thoughts do. Protect your core, and you'll attract what aligns with it. Start today, trim one toxic influence, add one source of light. Watch the pull strengthen. Transformation isn't a sprint, it's a forging. Think of yourself as raw iron heated and hammered in the furnace of life. Each thought, each choice shapes you into something stronger or leaves you brittle. The magnet of your being evolves over time, not in a single moment of epiphany. You attract what you are because your energy is the sum of countless decisions to hold a grudge, or let it go to see scarcity or abundance, to shrink or stand tall. What are you crafting with your days? This long arc demands patience. You may shift your energy today and still face echoes of yesterday's pull tomorrow. That's okay. A river doesn't carve a canyon in a day. Keep aligning your inner state with the reality you seek. Trust that every step refines the signal you send out. Ask yourself, am I becoming the person who naturally draws in what I desire? The answer lies not in what you want, but in who you are choosing to be moment by moment. The magnet works silently, tirelessly. So must you. You've journeyed through the magnet of your being, witnessing how your inner state, be it a storm of anger or a garden of gratitude, draws in experiences that match its essence. Mark's story taught us that rage summons conflict, but a single choice to soften can shift the tide. Lila showed us that gratitude, even when forced at first, becomes a beacon for kindness and opportunity. The reflections and steps we've shared hammer home the truth: you attract what you are, not what you want. Your energy is the invisible force shaping your world, and the power to tune it lies within you. As you move forward, hold this lesson close. Becoming is your greatest act. You are the magnet pulling in the iron of your reality with every thought, every breath. Refine your core, guard your flame, and trust the long arc of transformation. The world will mirror what you embody, so stand resolute. Let your next step be one of intention. We're not done yet. There's more to uncover about wielding this power with purpose. Until then, remember this mantra, let it echo in your soul. Become the pull. Attract your truth. Picture yourself kneeling in a barren patch of earth, hands raw from digging, staring at cracked soil that yields nothing. Where are the blooms you envisioned? Why does abundance seem to sprout for others but not for you? The answer lies not in the seeds you plant, but in the ground beneath them. You attract what you are, not what you want, and your inner soil, the very essence of your character and beliefs, must be cultivated before anything can grow. Welcome to the heart of transformation. In this journey, you're not just chasing dreams. You're becoming the person who naturally draws them near. This is about nurturing your spirit, enriching your mind, and tending to the hidden roots of who you are. Feel the weight of this truth. Until you prepare the garden within, no harvest will come. So grab your tools, dig deep, and let's turn this barren earth into a thriving sanctuary. The abundance you seek is waiting, but only if you're ready to become the fertile ground it needs. Imagine yourself as Maya, a young professional with a fire in your belly, burning for a dream role in a creative agency. You've spent years honing your craft, staying late at the office, pouring your soul into every project. Your portfolio gleams like polished stone, and yet when the promotion announcements come, your name is absent. Again and again. Colleagues with less skill climb the ladder while you remain rooted in place. The sting of rejection burrows deep, and doubt whispers, "You're not enough." You wonder why the universe refuses to reward your effort. But the truth is, it's not your work that's lacking. It's the soil of your self-belief. Maya felt this ache. Each missed opportunity carved a hollow in her chest. She watched others speak boldly in meetings while she shrank, fearing her ideas would be dismissed. She wanted success, but she carried a silent conviction that she didn't deserve it. One day after another overlooked promotion, she sat alone in her cubicle, staring at a blank screen. Something shifted. She realized that no amount of late nights or perfect designs would attract the role she craved if she didn't believe she was worthy of it. So she began to cultivate her inner garden. She started small, affirming one strength each morning, standing taller when she spoke, seeking feedback not as criticism, but as compost for growth. She journaled her fears and burned them, letting the ashes fertilize her resolve. Months later, Maya walked into a meeting, her voice steady as a river carving through stone. She pitched an idea not with hesitation, but with the quiet power of someone who knew her worth. The room listened. That week, the promotion was hers. The lesson was clear: the job wasn't waiting for more skills. It was waiting for Maya to become the confident creator she was meant to be. Like a garden, her inner soil needed tending. Confidence was the nutrient she lacked. Once she enriched it, abundance bloomed naturally. You attract what you are, not what you want. Until you nurture the belief in yourself, no external harvest will take root. Now see yourself as Ethan, a man whose heart once held a bitter root, a weed that choked every chance at connection. A betrayal from a close friend years ago left him scarred. Words cut deep, trust shattered like glass. He carried this resentment like a stone in his chest, pushing people away before they could hurt him again. He wanted meaningful relationships, longed for laughter and shared burdens, but his bitterness repelled warmth. Friends drifted, invitations stopped, and loneliness became his shadow. Why, he wondered, did joy evade him? Ethan's turning point came on a quiet evening, sitting by a lake watching ripples spread across still water. He saw his reflection and realized the bitterness he held wasn't punishing his betrayer, it was poisoning his own soil. He decided to uproot it. Forgiveness wasn't easy. It felt like pulling thorns from bare hands. But he started small, writing a letter he never sent, releasing the pain, word by word. He meditated on letting go, picturing his anger as a weed he could pluck from his garden. He didn't forgive for the other person, he did it to free himself. As weeks turned to months, something shifted. Ethan smiled more, spoke with openness, and invited others into his life without fear. Old friends returned, new ones appeared, drawn to the lightness he now carried. At a gathering, someone remarked, "You've changed. You're so easy to be around." Ethan realized then that by clearing the bitter root from his inner soil, he'd made room for connection to grow. The relationships he craved weren't waiting for others to change. They were waiting for him to become a person of grace. You attract what you are. When you nurture forgiveness, you draw in the very bonds you seek. Pause for a moment and look within. What kind of garden are you tending inside your soul? Is it wild and overgrown with weeds of doubt, resentment, or fear? Or is it a place of rich, dark earth ready to cradle the seeds of your vision? You attract what you are, not what you want. This isn't just a saying, it's a law as unyielding as gravity. The world doesn't hand you abundance because you desire it. It mirrors the state of your inner landscape. If your soil is barren, no matter how many seeds of ambition you scatter, nothing will take root. Think of your character as the earth itself. Every belief you hold is a nutrient or a toxin. Every thought a drop of water or a drought. How often have you blamed the outside world's circumstances, people, timing for the lack in your life? But what if the true barrier lies in the untended corners of your being? As Wayne Dyer once said, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Your inner soil shapes the harvest. If you carry scarcity in your heart, you'll draw scarcity into your days. If you nurture abundance within through gratitude, resilience, belief, you become a magnet for it. So ask yourself, what weeds must I pull? What nutrients must I add? Your dreams are waiting not in some distant field, but right beneath your feet. They need you to become the fertile ground they can trust. Dig deep, clear the stones of old hurts, water your spirit with hope. The garden of your life is yours to cultivate, make it a place where miracles can grow. Growth is not a sprint. It's the slow, sacred labor of a gardener who trusts the seasons. You might stand over your inner soil, impatient for results, wondering why the abundance hasn't yet arrived. But consider this: a seed doesn't burst into a tree overnight. It burrows into the dark, splits itself open, and reaches for light long before you see its first green shoot. So it is with you. The work of nurturing your character, building courage, shedding bitterness, embracing trust happens in the unseen depths. And yet this is where attraction begins. Picture your beliefs as roots stretching far beneath the surface. They anchor you, draw in sustenance, and determine what you can hold. If those roots are shallow, tangled with self-doubt or fear, how can you support the weight of your dreams? But if you tend them, strengthening them with reflection and care, they become a network of power. The garden of your soul doesn't just bloom for show, it builds a foundation for everything you attract. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Belief is the root, abundance the flower. So why do you rush the harvest? Why do you doubt the process when the soil is still being turned? Trust the quiet work. Every moment you spend enriching your inner world, choosing kindness over anger, faith over fear, is a deposit in the earth of who you are. The world will reflect it back. Be patient. Be persistent. Your garden is growing even when you can't see it yet. When doubt creeps in and whispers that abundance is beyond your reach, don't just sit there, act. Start by tending the soil of your beliefs, for they shape what you attract. Take a moment each morning to plant a seed of affirmation. Write down one truth about yourself. I am capable. I am worthy. I am growing. Speak it aloud. Let it sink into your core. This isn't empty talk. It's nourishment for your inner garden. Over time, these words will root deep, replacing the weeds of insecurity with strength. Next, weed out toxic thoughts. When negativity arises, thoughts like, I'll never get there, or I'm not enough, pause. Recognize them as intruders in your soil. Counter them with evidence. Recall a time you overcame a challenge, no matter how small. Write it down if you must. This act of reflection pulls the weed and replaces it with fertile ground. Finally, surround yourself with gardeners who uplift you. Seek mentors, friends, or communities who reflect the abundance you wish to embody. Their presence is like sunlight coaxing your growth. Commit to this daily tending. Your beliefs are the foundation of what you attract, make them a sanctuary of possibility. If bitterness or past hurts are choking your inner garden, it's time to clear the ground. Forgiveness is a powerful tool to enrich your soil, and it starts with a single choice. Begin by identifying one wound you carry: a grudge, a betrayal, a regret. Don't rush to erase the pain. Instead, sit with it. Write a letter to the person or situation, not to send, but to release. Pour out every hurt, every anger, then let it go, burn the paper, bury it, or simply set it aside. This act is like uprooting a thorn. It frees space for new growth. Then shift your focus inward. Forgive yourself for holding on to this weight. Whisper to your heart, I release this burden for my own peace. Each day, take a small step toward lightness. Smile at a stranger, offer kindness where you once withheld it. These actions water your soil with grace. Remember, forgiveness isn't about others. It's about becoming the person who attracts connection and joy. As you clear these weeds, watch how the world responds. Relationships will bloom where once there was only barren earth. Start today. Your garden deserves this care. As we close this chapter of your journey, let the truth settle deep. You attract what you are, not what you want. The garden of your soul, your character, your beliefs, your inner soil determines the harvest of your life. Through Maya's story, you saw how confidence transforms barren ground into a field of opportunity. Through Ethan's, you learned that forgiveness uproots bitterness, making room for connection. These lessons echo a timeless takeaway. True abundance comes only when you nurture who you are at the core. Every reflection, every step of practical care is a commitment to this inner work. You've dug into the earth of your being, cleared the stones of doubt, and planted seeds of belief and grace. Trust that the growth is happening even if the blooms aren't yet visible. The world is watching, ready to mirror back the richness you cultivate within. As we move forward, prepare to explore how this inner transformation ripples outward, shaping the very reality you inhabit. For now, hold this truth close and let it guide your hands as you tend your garden. Final mantra, keep tending your soil. Your abundance is already taking root. Picture yourself as a lighthouse standing tall on a jagged cliff, battered by relentless waves and shrouded in the fog of doubt. Your beam, your truth, your essence flickers weakly, hidden from the ships lost at sea, those opportunities and souls seeking your unique guidance. Why do you dim your light? Why do you fear the storm of judgment? In this moment, I'm speaking to you, urging you to ignite that inner flame. The world doesn't need another shadow, it needs your brilliance. In the journey of You Attract What You Are, Not What You Want, this section, Shining your inner light is your call to embody authenticity and purpose. Only by being who you truly are can you draw in the people and possibilities meant for you. Feel the weight of this truth. Let it anchor you. You are the lighthouse. It's time to shine. Imagine yourself as an artist, your heart ablaze with colors and visions that could paint the world anew. But instead of wielding your brush with abandon, you hide your canvas in the attic of conformity. You sketch what others expect, safe lines, muted tones, because the fear of rejection stings sharper than any critic's words. You take a job that pays the bills, attend gatherings where you nod and smile, pretending to be someone you're not. Inside, your soul withers. The gallery of your life feels empty, devoid of the vibrant strokes that define you. Opportunities pass like ships in the night, unable to see your dimmed light. You're not attracting what you want because you're not showing who you are. Then comes the breaking point. One evening alone with your thoughts, you climb to that attic and pull out the canvas you've hidden for years. Your hands tremble as you paint a wild, untamed piece that screams your truth. You hesitate, but something within urges you forward. You share it not with the masses, but with a small circle, a local art group. The response isn't universal praise, but it's real. A few see your light and they're drawn to it. They invite you to exhibit, to collaborate. Slowly, a community forms around your authenticity, not your mask. You've become the lighthouse in the ships those aligned souls and chances find you in the storm. The lesson here is clear, tied to the beacon you're meant to be. A lighthouse doesn't move to meet the ships. It stands firm, shining unapologetically. When you embrace your uniqueness, you attract those who resonate with your true frequency. Hiding dims your signal. Revealing yourself even in vulnerability draws in your tribe. Now see yourself as a leader standing at the helm of a team, a project, a vision. You've climbed the ranks by projecting strength and unyielding facade of perfection. You hide your doubts, your fears behind a mask of stone, believing that vulnerability is weakness. But your team senses the disconnect. They follow your orders, yet their trust falters. Whispers of doubt ripple through the ranks. You're pretending to be someone you're not, and in doing so, you repel the loyalty and unity you crave. The opportunities for true collaboration slip away like ships veering off course, unable to find your authentic light. The storm hits when a critical project falters. Deadlines loom, morale plummets, and you stand at a crossroads. Do you double down on the mask, or do you dare to show your humanity? In a moment of raw courage, you call a meeting. You admit your uncertainties about the path forward, but you also share your unwavering commitment to the team's success. You ask for their input, their strength. At first there's silence, a wave of discomfort. Then one voice speaks up, then another. Ideas flow, burdens are shared, and trust is rebuilt. By shedding the mask, you've ignited your inner light. Your vulnerability becomes the beacon that draws your team closer, transforming them into allies who fight alongside you. Like a lighthouse enduring the gale, your authenticity becomes your power. You don't attract loyalty by pretending to be flawless. You attract it by standing in your truth, flaws and all. The ships of opportunity and connection find you when your light is real, not manufactured. Let's pause and dive deeper into what it means to embody authenticity and purpose. You are not a fleeting spark in the night. You are a lighthouse built to withstand the fiercest storms. But a lighthouse without a beam is just a tower, a hollow shell. Your authenticity is that beam, the unique energy that cuts through the fog of the world's expectations. How often have you dimmed it, fearing it might blind or repel others? How many times have you shaped yourself into a mirror of someone else's desires only to feel more lost than ever? Consider this: the ships at sea, those opportunities, those kindred spirits aren't searching for a perfect light. They're searching for a true one. A lighthouse doesn't apologize for its glow. It simply exists as it was meant to. When you try to be what you're not, you send out a false signal, attracting chaos or emptiness. But when you stand in your purpose, when you live as the fullest expression of who you are, you draw in what aligns with your essence. You attract what you are not, what you pretend to be. Think of your life as an ocean, vast and unpredictable. The storms of doubt and fear will come. They will crash against you, testing your resolve. But a lighthouse doesn't crumble. It endures. Your purpose is your foundation, your authenticity, your flame. Stop asking if you're enough. Start believing you already are. What would happen if you shone without apology today? Who might find their way to you? Let's reflect further on the power of being unapologetically you. Imagine your authenticity as a stone dropped into still water. The ripple starts small, barely noticeable, but it spreads, touching distant shores you can't even see. When you hide your truth, you withhold that stone, and the water remains stagnant. No ripples, no impact. But when you cast your truth into the world through a kind word, a bold creation, a vulnerable moment, the effect multiplies beyond your knowing. You might think, what if my light isn't bright enough? What if my ripples are too weak? But remember, a lighthouse doesn't measure its worth by how many ships it saves in a single night. It shines regardless, knowing its purpose isn't diminished by temporary silence. Your authenticity isn't about immediate validation, it's about consistency. It's about showing up as you are day after day, trusting that the right connections will find you. As Brené Brown reminds us in Daring Greatly, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. When you dare to be real, you create waves that inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon not just for yourself, but for a community seeking permission to shine. So ask yourself, what ripple are you afraid to start? What truth are you withholding that could change everything? Now let's turn reflection into action. Embodying authenticity isn't a vague ideal. It's a daily choice, a muscle you build with intention. Start here. Take a quiet moment today, 5 minutes no more, and sit with yourself. Ask, what part of me am I hiding? Maybe it's a passion you buried, a fear you've masked, or a dream you've silenced. Write it down. Don't judge it, just name it. This act of acknowledgement is the first spark of your inner light. Next, take one small step to reveal that hidden piece. If it's a passion, create something for your eyes, only a sketch, a poem, a plan. If it's a fear, share it with one trusted person. The key isn't grand gestures, it's quiet courage. Each time you show who you are, you strengthen your lighthouse's beam. You signal to the universe, this is me. I'm ready for what matches my truth. When doubt creeps in, and it will pause, breathe. Remind yourself of a time you felt truly alive, truly yourself. Anchor in that memory. Let it fuel your resolve. Authenticity isn't a destination, it's a practice. Keep showing up. Keep shining. The ships meant for you will see your light. Let's ground this further with a second actionable step, especially if you lead others or seek deeper connections. Vulnerability is your bridge to trust, but it must be intentional. Start by identifying one relationship, personal or professional, where you've worn a mask. Maybe you've hidden your struggles or feigned certainty. Choose a moment to lower that shield. It doesn't mean spilling every secret. It means sharing one honest thought or feeling. Say, I'm not sure about this, but I'm committed to figuring it out with you. Or I've been struggling with this, and I value your perspective. Observe the response. Not everyone will meet your vulnerability with grace, and that's okay. A lighthouse doesn't force ships to dock, it simply guides. But those who resonate with your truth will draw closer. Repeat this practice weekly, small, authentic shares. Over time, you'll build a circle of trust, attracting loyalty and collaboration. As Stephen Covey writes in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. Your vulnerability is the key to that trust. Use it wisely. Shine with it boldly. As we close this chapter of shining your inner light, let the core truth settle into your bones. You attract what you are, not what you want. By embodying authenticity and purpose, you become the lighthouse that guides the right opportunities and people to your shore. You've seen it in the artist who painted their truth and found a community, and in the leader who shed their mask to earn trust. You've reflected on the power of your unique beam, the ripples of your courage, and you've armed yourself with steps to ignite that light today. The lesson is undeniable. When you stand in who you are, unapologetically, the world shifts to meet you. Now carry this flame forward. The journey continues, and the next horizon awaits, where we'll explore how to sustain this light through life's fiercest storms. Until then, remember your purpose. You are the beacon. Let your truth guide the way. Final mantra: stand tall, shine true. Your ships are coming. Picture yourself standing before a blazing forge, the heat searing your skin, the roar of the flames drowning out doubt. In your hands, a raw, unformed piece of steel. Your life, your potential waits to be shaped. Every strike of the hammer is a choice, every spark a lesson. Will you wield the hammer with purpose, or will you shrink from the fire? This is the crucible of transformation, where consistent inner work tempers your soul into something unbreakable. Here in the heart of the forge, you learn a timeless truth: you attract what you are, not what you want. Become the steel you wish to wield, and the world will bend to match your strength. In this journey of forging your reality, we dive into the raw, relentless process of inner transformation. It's not about chasing fleeting desires or wishing for a better life. It's about becoming the person who naturally draws meaning and fulfillment. You are the architect and the material. You are the fire and the blade. Let's step into the heat together, for it's in the forging that you craft a life of purpose. Imagine this: you've poured years into a dream, a business, a project, a vision of who you could be, but the ground shifts beneath you. A deal falls through, a partner walks away, and the world labels you a failure. You sit among the wreckage, your confidence shattered like glass, wondering if you'll ever stand again. This was Marcus's story. At 35, he watched his startup collapse after 3 grueling years. Debts piled up, and whispers of "I told you so" echoed from every corner. He felt small, unworthy, a man who'd aimed too high and fallen too hard. But Marcus didn't stay down. He understood that the forge of life doesn't spare anyone, it tests everyone. He began the inner work not with grand gestures, but with quiet, consistent steps. Each morning he wrote one thing he still believed about himself: I am resilient. He revisited his failures not to wallow, but to learn. He asked, what did I miss? How can I grow? Slowly he hammered away at his doubts, tempering his self-worth with every honest reflection. He took small jobs not for glory, but to rebuild trust in his abilities. Day by day, strike by strike, he shaped himself anew. 2 years later, a connection from his past reached out. They'd seen his persistence, his quiet strength, and offered him a role leading a new venture, one that aligned perfectly with his honed skills and renewed grit. Marcus didn't just attract a job, he attracted a purpose that mirrored the man he'd become. The forge had done its work. Failure wasn't his end. It was the heat that made him unbreakable. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Marcus found that seed by forging himself first. His lesson and yours is clear: you attract what you are. Become strong, and strength will find you. Now picture yourself carrying a heavy stone, its edges cutting into your hands. This is resentment, old grudges, past betrayals, wounds you've nursed for years. It weighs you down, clouds your vision, and repels the peace you crave. This was Lena's burden. At 40, she harbored bitterness toward a family member who'd wronged her decades ago. Every argument, every slight replayed in her mind like a broken record. Her relationships suffered. Her heart grew cold. She wanted connection, but all she attracted was distance. Lena decided to step into the forge of healing. She began a daily practice of reflection, not to relive the pain, but to release it. Each evening, she sat with a journal, writing one thing she could let go of: a harsh word, a memory, a need to be right. She imagined the fire of the forge burning away her anger, tempering her spirit into something lighter, sharper, more open. She didn't confront anyone, she confronted herself. Why do I hold this? She asked. What does it cost me? Day after day, she hammered at her inner walls, choosing forgiveness, not for others, but for her own freedom. Over months, a quiet peace settled in. Lena smiled, more listened deeper, and spoke with warmth. Friends noticed. Strangers gravitated to her calm. New bonds formed, not because she sought them, but because she'd become a beacon of serenity. The stone was gone, melted in the forge of consistent reflection. She attracted what she was: peaceful, whole, inviting. Her story echoes a truth from Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. The past has no power over the present moment. Lena forged her present by letting go. So can you. Let's pause and look into the flames of your own forge. Transformation isn't a sudden miracle. It's a slow, searing process. Consistent inner work, those daily choices to reflect, to grow, to endure, acts like the fire that tempers steel. Without heat, steel remains weak, brittle, prone to breaking. Without effort, you remain unchanged, attracting the same struggles, the same hollow outcomes. But step into the fire willingly and you become something new. You attract a reality that mirrors your strength, your clarity, your resolve. Think about this. How often have you chased external rewards, money, status, approval, only to feel empty when they arrive? That's because the world doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your essence. If you're fractured inside, you'll draw chaos. If you're forged in purpose, you'll summon alignment. The forge doesn't lie. It reveals who you are. What are you shaping within yourself right now? Are you striking with intention, or are you avoiding the heat altogether? Remember, the fire isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Embrace it and watch how life reshapes around you. Every day you hold a hammer in your hands. It's not a tool of destruction, but of creation. Each choice you make, how you speak to yourself, how you face pain, how you persist, is a strike that shapes your being. In the forge of life, there's no room for hesitation. Doubt dulls the blade, fear warps the steel. But courage, consistency, and clarity, they craft a masterpiece. You attract what you are because the world sees the product of your choices, not the echo of your complaints. Consider the river carving through stone. It doesn't rush in a single day. It flows with relentless patience, wearing down even the hardest barriers. Your inner work is that river. It's the quiet decision to rise after a fall, to forgive after a wound, to believe after a loss. How many times have you stopped short thinking the stone was too hard? How many victories have you missed by dropping the hammer too soon? The forge demands persistence. Keep striking. Your reality is waiting to take the shape of your will. Let's get practical. Transformation isn't abstract. It's built in the small, gritty moments. Start with this each morning. Take 5 minutes to temper your mind. Sit in silence and ask, what am I becoming today? Write down one quality you want to forge: patience, courage, focus, and one action to embody it. If it's patience, commit to pausing before reacting. If it's courage, take one bold step, even if it's small. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each choice is a strike of the hammer, shaping you into someone who naturally attracts meaning. When doubt creeps in, and it will, don't flinch. Return to the forge. Remind yourself why you started. Keep a note visible, a single word or phrase like endure or rise to anchor you. Consistency is your fire. As James Clear advises in Atomic Habits, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Begin today, strike now. Watch how the world shifts as you shift. Here's another tool for your forge: release what no longer serves you. Resentment, self-doubt, old stories, they're impurities in your steel, weakening your core. Set aside 10 minutes each evening for reflection. Write down one thing weighing on you: a grudge, a fear of failure. Then ask, what does holding this cost me? Be honest. Burn it away by choosing to let go, not for others but for yourself. Visualize the fire of the forge consuming it, leaving you lighter, stronger. If writing feels heavy, speak it aloud to yourself or a trusted confidant. The act of naming it loosens its grip. Replace it with an affirmation: I am free, I am whole. Repeat this daily. Consistency melts the old, making space for the new. You'll attract peace, opportunity, and connection because you've become those things. Forge yourself clean, and the world will reflect your clarity. As we step back from the forge, feel the heat still lingering on your skin. You've seen how consistent inner work transforms raw potential into unyielding strength. Marcus rebuilt his worth strike by strike until a career of purpose found him. Lena burned away resentment day by day until peace and connection flowed to her. These stories, these reflections boil down to one unshakable truth: you attract what you are, not what you want. Become the steel, resilient, sharp, forged in fire, and life will mirror your transformation. The forge is always waiting. Every choice, every reflection, every small act of courage is a strike that shapes your reality. Keep tempering yourself even when the heat feels unbearable. The world is watching, ready to align with the person you're becoming. As we move forward, carry this fire with you, for the next step is to wield your strength in ways you've never imagined. Final mantra: strike with purpose. Your reality is forged in fire.